Yeah, man.
Hello viewers, welcome back to Vibing with Mr. Marvelous. Today's show we have from our very beautiful island of St. Lucia. Siobhan, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for vibing with Mr. Marvelous. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Beautiful weather today.
Of course.
So before we deep dive into our topic today, tell the viewers a little bit about you.
Alright, well, my name is Siobhan Brian. Most persons know me from Toastmasters community in St. Lucia. I do a lot of public speaking, and within, I would say, the past 6 years, I've done a lot of one-on-one and group sessions with students, corporate entities, locally and regionally. I did a lot of focus on leadership training, helping people build their confidence, because you have a lot of persons who they fall short on amazing opportunities just because they're not as confident as they think they are. But in my program, what I've done is reach out to students as low as kindergarten all the way up to senior school and help them just unlock that certain aspect of themselves. I do lots of things as well in terms of hobbies. I like to stay athletic. I like to connect with people one-on-one and basically just do good work.
Brilliant. Very nice summary of you. Thank you for sharing the information.
Yep.
Before we get into the meat and potato, here's your trivia question today. What country in the world has a female name? So the name of the country is a female. So most countries a male name, male given. What country in the world is a female name? We'll give you a few minutes before we get the answer. All right. So Toastmaster, that's your main and public speaking.
Yeah, I say Toastmasters because prior to 2018.
And enlighten what is Toastmasters? Where is it from? Where did it start? Enlighten us on that.
Okay, well, Toastmasters is a non-profit international organization that was founded in 1924. So this year in October, we'll be celebrating 100 years. There'll be this massive international convention in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
I'm hoping to attend.
Okay.
And it's basically an organization that teaches a lot of soft skills. Most people align Toastmasters with public speaking because in our regular meetings, this is what we do. We have a group of people who come together. They prepare their projects according to a certain set of objectives, and we evaluate. We try not to use the word criticize or give feedback. The evaluation is in a sandwich method where we encapsulate the areas of improvement alongside the areas of excellence. So we tell you, you know what, you did a great job. I really wish you would use your floor space, but if you do use your floor space, you will do an awesome presentation. This is the kind of energy we have at Toastmasters. And locally, we've had about 2 clubs for the longest while. Right now we have 3. We're working on getting a 4th and a 5th club. So the community is growing. And the Toastmasters community comprises of public servants, lawyers, doctors, people who work with children, entrepreneurs, you name it. It's a very broad network. All walks of life. A very broad network. And Toastmasters, they always look out for each other. A lot of times, our members are positioned in public relation roles. Sometimes they're in management, and it requires them to go forth and explain, objectives of the organization. So it comes really handy. And aside from the public speaking, we have the leadership component. What makes Toastmasters different from any other organization is that it's a hands-on program. So whereas with some entities, they teach you leadership through a slideshow and PowerPoint, we exercise leadership. So even this podcast here, if you were a Toastmaster right now, this would be your project.
Brilliant.
You'll be evaluated and they'll tell you, well, hey Prince, I realize you did this thing, I'm hoping, this, that, and you get your evaluation right there. So your next podcast, you can incorporate that feedback and you continue to be killing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now you said there's 3 clubs currently, started with 1 in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Are they spread out throughout the island, or are they all in the north?
Well, right now they're based in the north.
Okay.
Historically, I think we had our first Toastmasters club back in the early 90s, the Castries Toastmasters, that disbanded. Then we had the NIC Toastmasters, founded in 99. Then we had the public service founded in 2011, and I believe in 2021 we had Platinum Artistic. They're all based in the north.
Okay.
But because of COVID and the fact that we had to push our meetings to a virtual environment, our meetings can be accessed anyway. But we're really hoping to get an in-person club, preferably to the south of the island, because we have persons who are very much interested, but the distance and the time is a big factor for them.
All right.
Yeah.
So something to look about St. Lucia in the south coming soon near you. All right, viewers, your time is up for your trivia question. Drum roll. So we asked the question, what country in the world is named after a female? And interesting, do you know the answer to that? Do you know?
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I think
you could say
we in the country right now.
correct. Yes. So it's a fun fact. That's very interesting. The only country in the world, and that's named officially. Some are debatable, but officially, according to the viewers out there or history, St. Lucia is the only country in the world named. But that's a fact. But thank you, you know that, yeah? Yep, good stuff.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned you stay active.
Yeah.
What do you do when you say active? Like,
well, ever since I left secondary school, when I was at secondary school, I was a very avid track athlete.
what type of track?
Middle distance, so
Middle.
800, 1005 and above. I did not have the, how would I say, the technical prowess to go regional, but I still keep myself motivated because every time maybe at least twice a week, I go out for maybe like a 5K or 10K run, and I try to keep myself fit, you know. And it's just amazing that as I get older, I'm actually seeing, you know, better and faster times, because with track, especially sprinting, the older you get, the less efficient your body.
Very true.
It starts to respond, you know, to fast twitching and stuff like that. But I do a lot of 5K running, depending on the day, the weather. Sometimes I might be less, sometimes it might be more, but I do that very often. When I do go on the beach, I try to take maybe about a 100-meter swim, and, you know, just keep my body processing, you know, all what it has, sweat a lot, you know, get myself active, because with the line of work that I do, I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I go basically to all locations that I can access, and it's a lot of physical work. And after that type of day, it's very easy to just, you know, just throw in the towel and just.
Very true. I'm tired. I got no more gas.
Yeah.
I like blah blah.
Yeah.
So, but you push yourself and you keep going.
Yeah, I push myself because I realize the physical activity is a very good aspect of it, because I find myself, you know, being in a place where one time physically I looked fit, but, you know, to get up and walk up a hill, you know, it's like, ooh, yeah.
It's funny you mention that, because I've seen muscle guys, big muscle guys in the US. But you put them through cardio or kickboxing or jump rope, they can't. They get winded. So the cardiovascular is not there.
Yeah.
And I have seen Siobhan in action. He has participated in a run down in Dennery, and so that was good to see him in action.
Yes.
So he does stay active. If you were a sprinter, I would call our very own to, you know what I'm talking about?
Sprinter who locally?
Yes, she's nationally, internationally now.
Julian Alfred.
Alfred, yeah, I would call Junior Alfred, say, come race with Siobhan, let's see who's faster, but you know the sprinter. Miss Alfred, we're proud of you, keep pushing. One day we believe St. Lucia will get that Olympic goal one day, so you all
maybe
hope right
if we
now.
do race, I might make it up to 10 meters and then the rest is yours. The rest is yours.
As an entrepreneur, what's your biggest challenges or few challenges you go through, or opportunities I call them?
Well, one of the biggest challenges that I'm actually first-hand experiencing right now is manpower. As an entrepreneur, like when you establish this business, it's like your baby. You want to see everything work out the way you intend to, and what comes with that is the desire to do everything on your own. And then you think, okay, you can do the marketing, you could do the accounting, you could do the actual work, and then you could do the planning and everything, and then you easily get exhausted. You know?
True.
I burn out very frequently. and I've had to change my schedule to working probably like every other day just to stay sane, you know, because sometimes you get some clients as like I have situations where whilst I'm doing the work, maybe I might be in a compromising position, then my phone rings, I have to stretch for my phone, thank you for calling, you know, and then and then I have to deal with the client there. So that might be a challenge for me right now, and I'm really working towards, you know, outsourcing a lot of these efforts. The next challenge is also just the support in terms of the, I wouldn't say government because I don't want it to be targeted,
right?
But in terms of like systemic support, because for people like me, if I place an order, I have all these major tariffs that I have to clear off.
Right.
So by the time you put the taxes and the clearance into consideration, the amount that you may reel in as profit is not as good.
Great, yeah.
So you know, it's just more or less benefiting from systems that could really help us, and also, you know, the capital, because for me, I'm starting my business from scratch, and a lot of the capital that I have is things that I basically earn and invest. So that took me a couple of years before I was to a place where I can say, okay, I can bring this to the table, can you borrow me this amount? So it's a long process, but I'm really hoping with the programs that are out now, some of which that I have gotten first-hand information, I'm hoping to see the benefits of that. Yeah, and the other challenges would be, you know, things outside of my control, like customer perception, you know, having a small business, people trying to undercut you and stuff like that. You know, I just try to keep the standard one way, so that, you know,
so you know it's standard no matter who's there, no matter who's the customer, that you're fair and you're honest in what you do every day. I love that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Now here's the other part to the question. What do you enjoy most about being you're an entrepreneur? What benefit you enjoy the most?
Well, the benefit I enjoy the most is the ownership, because oftentimes before I became an entrepreneur, I worked for a company for about 5 years, and I remember myself in that sales position and all the ideas that I got of things that I could do to, you know, bring maximum returns to management. And that was one phase in my life. I fast forward, I become an entrepreneur, and I'm sitting here and I'm realizing, you know, I did all of this for this establishment. I could do it for myself. And the flexibility I have in terms of marketing, in terms of, you know, the products and the services that I offer, I can say, okay, I can offer this. Whether or not it's successful or it's viable, then it's something that I can go back to the drawing board and evaluate myself. But having to go through all this red tape in an organization, sometimes it can be very discouraging. The amount of feedback that you can get kills your creativity. And I have a few examples where there were products that I proposed and management said no. And then I tried it on my own and it's been a success. You know, so having the ownership of your business brand and saying, you know, you can like, you have marvelous, you can change it to mega marvelous if you decide.
Very true.
You know,
independently by yourself, you don't have to go for somebody else.
So just the ownership is the best part for me. Whether I'm up on my profits, I'm low on my profits, knowing that I have this and I can bring it as far as it needs to go.
And you know, it's your vision. You know, it's you put in the work, you reap what you sow, and all those good things. So. Yeah. I love it. Congratulations. Congrats.
On, thanks.
Toastmaster, I have heard of it, and I believe it's a powerful organization. Would you think it's a good thing to have in every school, or the school programs have it in place as an extracurricular activity?
Yes. I say that because one of the gaps I'm trying to fill as a philanthropist, more or less, is to bridge the gap between the school system and the working world. That gap is where people in corporate St. Lucia, the requirements for entry-level jobs are sometimes beyond what we learn within the classroom. For example, if you have a store clerk, some of the requirements may be good communication, excellent project management, great time management skills, and within the school environment, we don't teach it directly. teachers expect students to learn time management by getting to school on time, getting to class on time, and finishing exams on time. But in terms of like projects within a certain period, we don't do any practical hands-on things with that. The public speaking as well. Rarely you get opportunities for students to grab a mic and speak. They do so in presentations, but how often are those presentations? And also project management skills. Project management is something I believe should be taught at the secondary school level. So when you have these three areas being commonly requested but it's not being taught,
Right.
then that is where Toastmasters comes in, because Toastmasters does project management, they do the time management, they do the public speaking and the communication. And since the Toastmasters program is exclusively for people over 18, there is a subdivision called the Gavel Club for students, preferably people below the age of 18.
Right.
So the Gavel Club will help those students in the same way Toastmasters helps our 18 and above people. But the thing with the Gavel Club is we must ensure sustainability, because students, the same way they come to the school, they
Yes.
leave the school. So the sustainability is something that we need to work on. But this is definitely something that will benefit a lot of our students in the secondary school.
Brilliant. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun projects coming up, charity stuff, any?
Yes, yes. Actually working on a few right now.
Okay.
One of our main projects, well, that's grabbing all my attention, is the establishment of a University of the West Indies Toastmasters Club in
Wow.
St. Lucia.
Powerful.
What we realized is student life on campus had been severely affected post-COVID. So we really want the environment to bring the students back together, because as a student myself, I have seen lots of courses come and go, and there were people in those courses that I didn't even know were students.
Right.
You know, and we're part of the same institution. So we really want to bring everyone together.
Community.
And yeah, and it also is a fun way to get persons who are working and studying more efficient at their work.
Absolutely.
Because with our Toastmasters program, it's virtual, so it's like a portal.
Correct.
You go on there, you add
Log
your
in
info
and- yes.
and everything. A lot of people have that at their workplace, so they will breeze through the Toastmasters program with its implementation. The other project that we're working on towards the summer, we are looking at having a student book exchange, and we've had it for the past 2 years, where we ask persons to donate school books, and persons then come and exchange book for book. And over the years, we have collectively saved people tens of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
I remember last year, our first customer for our book exchange, she got 8 books. And luckily, the prices were written on those books. And when we calculated it, it came up to $740.
Wow.
And she saved that there on the spot just by exchanging the books. So this year,
That's
we
fair.
want to widen the scope of the program, hopefully target 2 communities.
Definitely.
And we want to include an additional component where persons can donate like bags and possibly even uniform in good condition, so that persons can save. Because we
Definitely.
know as much as persons do can afford it,
Correct.
we can also give the help. You know, especially
Very
in
true.
families, big families and stuff.
There's
like
always
that.
a way.
Always a way. And after that, I'm working on a program for young men, targeted at young men and also our older men, to bring this community of men together, because I think socially men are under a lot of pressure, and some of the support programs that exist do not meet its mandate, you know, and we really need that morale boost for men, especially with all what's happening. Sometimes you hear of the wave of crime and people blame the young men.
Definitely.
You know, we have young men sometimes being outperformed in school, and just the expectations of them are not as high as our female counterparts. So we really need to boost their morale. And I started, I think it was 3 weeks ago, by doing a program with the Ira Simmons
Yes,
secondary
school, yeah.
where I went to speak to the Form 1 group to help them on the transition from primary to secondary school. So, you know, speaking about my experience, how it is to, you know, handle peer pressure, what it means to stay away from violence, looking at the sustainability of life, because a lot of men sometimes see life in the now You know, I want to be who I am now. But then what about the long run? I spoke to those young men about investing in themselves, you know, acquiring a skill that even by the time you leave secondary school, you can capitalize on that skill.
Definitely.
I gave my personal story, and I told them that I started drawing in Form 1. I started drawing and I did a bit of painting here and there. And when I graduated, 2 months after graduation, a client called my art teacher.
Right.
And he referred me to that client. And we were able
Wow.
to paint a wall and get $700.
Wow.
And that meant a lot to us because we just left school. And
Correct, definitely.
$700. And the boys were like, whoa. And I told them that, yes, aside from your subjects and all of that, which is good, get a skill.
Definitely.
Make yourself more marketable.
I love that.
You know?
Young children, are you listening? Love
Get
it.
a
Love it.
skill.
I got a tough question for you. You became the Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Give me one change you would do on your own. And the second part to that question, the world is now filled with stress, anxiety. How would you help reduce that?
Okay.
So one thing you would do for change in St. Lucia,
Mhm.
and the second part, what would you handle or help reduce stress and anxiety?
Okay, I think what I would change most definitely, having experienced some aspects for myself, would be our healthcare.
The healthcare.
Our healthcare. It will be my number one priority to make healthcare really, really affordable. I had a conversation with a client a few days ago, and he had a swollen leg.
Right.
He was rushed over to hospital, private hospital,
Yeah.
spent about 5 days, and his bill was in excess of $10,000. And you know, just the possibility of thinking that anything can happen at any time.
Correct.
You know, what are we all prepared for that type of expense? You know, and I would really want to put our best efforts. You know, whether it be for borrowing or whatever it is, because I know there are
So
policy
you think the
changes.
healthcare is too expensive?
I think the healthcare
Okay.
is too expensive, and there are services that are outsourced that
Right.
I really believe we should invest. Maybe not for the now, but for
Right.
the long run. You know,
Okay.
because we have primary. I think we need to go tertiary and quaternary healthcare. We need to do that. My second priority, I know you said one, but my second priority would be education.
Okay.
Making education free and affordable, especially at the university level.
Okay.
I think
Because
we
school
could-
is free from secondary.
primary to secondary
Right,
school.
in the US until high school.
Yeah,
Okay.
until high school, and then from there you have to pay your
Okay.
way.
So you think college and university should be free?
Yeah, 'cause I believe right now they're doing a lot of subsidies,
Okay.
and which is good. But I think really for us to like equip ourselves as a nation, we need to make it like accessible for all. So even though you know you're a 17-year-old and you don't know what you want to
Right.
do, you still go through that school system. But then by the time you're 25, you have a clear idea. A lot of people are going through life, they still don't know what they want to do. They
Very
just do
true.
what's available, you know. And the follow-up question in terms of
Correct. So stress, anxiety is an all-time high. How would you help reduce that as a prime minister?
okay. Well, we know that Lucians like a good time.
Okay.
And I think we just need to bridge the gap in terms of government and the average citizen. Because I know there's this concept called communication overload, where you put on your TV, it's there.
Right.
You switch to the next channel, it's there. You put on your phone, it's there. There's a lot of communication out there, but is it relative? Like, can the man who is chilling by the coconut tree understands how the economy is doing? And I think once we have that that gap filled, preferably for our media persons who are on the airways, once we can bridge that gap between what's happening up there
Yes.
and what's happening on the ground, then persons will feel at ease. You know, because I mean, people do have different challenges. You have communities which are ridden with crime, communities which are ridden with poverty. So there's no one solution to it that I think would just alleviate it. But I think people need to know what's happening. So if we know, okay, there's going to be a change coming,
Yes.
everyone can look forward to that change. If there's something ridiculous happening behind closed doors, everyone needs to know. We need to have that sense of community. We live in a time where I'm living here and someone lives next door and we don't even know each other.
Right.
You know? But then I feel a sense of relief if, let's say, I know my neighbor.
Correct.
You know, if I leave my door open, I'm like, hey neighbor, can you close it for me real quick? Like, I think we need to build that back.
So again, come together.
Yeah.
Love, good morning. How are you today?
Yes.
There's a mango and I have a sugar cane. We exchange.
Yes. You know, jokingly, you said the thing about the mango. I had a neighbor who had a coconut tree. Nice, bright yellow coconuts. You know, every morning I would pass, he'll be by his coconut tree. He'll cut it, he'll chop it. And I would pass, he wouldn't greet me.
Wow.
So one day I said morning, and he's like morning. He continued drinking his coconut. And then I said morning, he continued drinking his coconut. And that's over the course of many days.
Right.
One day he offered me a coconut.
Wow.
He offered me a coconut. And it meant a lot because it's a cold relationship that became warm.
Definitely.
Just for, you know, just, hey, how you doing? You alright? Cool. You know,
thank you for being a leader, and thank you for not being ignorant and saying, "Misi pakapalibame." In English, this guy is not talking to me. I'm not gonna be nice. So Siobhan took the high road, kept on being kind, kept on showing love, and it worked. So that's a brilliant way of reducing like stress, anxiety, and all the people are so uptight.
Yeah.
So thank you for being a leader in the community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are out of time. Thank you for vibing with Mr. Marvelous. But any last words? Let's say for 5, 6, 7-year-old or some of these 12, 13, like any words of inspiration you want to share with anybody?
For me, my words would be make friends. Go out there, communicate, make friends. Because a lot of times we live lives in our own bubble. Sometimes we play it safe because a lot is happening.
Correct.
But equally, we should try our best to just connect with people, because you will realize person's stories are different.
Right.
Sometimes person's stories are very similar.
Yes.
And you end up bonding with people, and you see, you know what? Connecting with people is really worth it. You know, so instead of just living our lives like they say, like a horse with blinders, we need to connect, communicate, and reach out to people.
There you have it, my very own Toastmaster, entrepreneur, Mr. Shawan. Thank you.
Yes,
for
thanks
vibing.
for the invite. Yeah, man.
Viewers, thanks for viewing, thanks for vibing, and remember, be marvelous.